We've taxed you with 5 things that you would do if you ruled the world to make it better. So let's kick off with number 5.
Okay.
Come on, try and keep it something we don't have to take off the air.
No woman would be allowed hair below her nose.
Right.
Mandatory waxing and or laser.
Okay.
For the armpits.
Yes.
And
the legs.
This is your first thing you do.
And the legs. Basically, the only hair you need is on your eyes, your eyelashes, your eyebrows, and your head.
Okay, I think that works for most people.
So your first move would ban moustaches for women, yeah?
Well, amongst other things. I don't think hairy armpits go down very well either.
I mean, you might have problems in parts of Europe where a lot of women still quite like that kind of thing.
I live there and I've seen it.
Yes.
I'm still reeling from the trauma.
Yes.
So Julia Roberts turned up for the Oscars once making a statement. And hadn't shaved her, making a big statement.
It was so much hair as well.
Headline in the Sun was "Pretty Hairy Woman."
Oh, God.
That is a good headline. Well, I mean, that's sort of blown us all away, I think, that one. So let's go straight to number 4 before we discuss
something a little
else.
less predictable.
Okay, less predictable.
What else we got first?
Well, men, no, actually. I'd ban the word cis. CIS.
Yes, that's a good one.
Because it's so unnecessary, it's so irritating, and it's only popped up in the last 5 years when they had to distinguish actual women from trans women.
Yes.
So
what's the origin of it? Because I don't even know that. Where's it come from?
I don't even want to know.
Is it meant to be an acronym?
Well, it's Latin, isn't it?
Is it? Cis?
Cis for actual? I don't know.
I might have to look this up now.
Yeah, look it up. Yeah. I've never really thought about it. I'm so irritated by myself that I know,
but I think I think cis woman has a particular sting to it, right? Cis men, I think, because most men don't care about any of this stuff, they just ignore them. That's one thing. But cis woman, it really grates on me when people refer to me as that.
I'm sorry to say, I've just Googled it, and what it comes up with is the Construction Industry Scheme, the CIS.
That explains it.
Apparently, it's a government scheme under the Construction Industry Scheme. Contractors deduct money from a subcontractor's payment and pass it to HM Revenue and Customs.
Yeah.
So a cis woman is someone who works in the construction industry.
Yeah,
that would be a thing to behold.
A female construction industry worker.
Yes,
I know.
I wonder what it was.
That would make up 2% of the construction industry then?
Yeah, cis woman. But it's annoying because woman should sum up what a woman is.
Yeah, and then you can have trans women.
You don't need a proviso, do you?
If you need to, I think they're just trying to make that distinction. But for people that don't know what the word cis means, they just think there are 2 types of women.
I mean, and we're not being transphobic to say it's fine, trans woman.
Yeah.
But woman, you don't need to have the cis, do you?
But the thing is because we're pretending like. Anyway, I don't even want to get into it.
Yeah,
I want to die on. Just don't call me cis anything.
Yeah, we're getting through this list pretty fast because obviously we don't want to discuss it too much at length because otherwise we'll probably get into terrible trouble. What's your number 3 way to rule the world?
My number 3, people must pass an IQ test to have kids.
Now, that's a good one. That is a good one. But you'll be accused of being eugenicist now, won't you? Because people will say,
that's fine.
Who's going to judge whether an IQ test actually is a proper measurement of somebody's intelligence?
Maybe not IQ test, then a test that I approve of as the ruler of the world.
Yeah.
I actually want to just look at the people first, and if I don't even like how they look, I'm like, no, you don't need to program.
It's going to be quite a world, your world.
Like putting round pegs in square holes.
The thing is it's that old maxim, isn't it, that you need a licence to go fishing.
Exactly.
But you don't need a licence to have children.
Exactly.
No, that's right. And also in America you can buy a gun, but you can't buy a chocolate with a toy in it.
Exactly.
Because it might be a bit more dangerous.
I know, you might choke on it.
There are an awful lot of those kind of things going on.
You're certainly putting the world to rights so far.
I know, I know.
What other bizarre ideas do you have?
I mean, this is probably a very conservative point, but people who call for an increase in taxes must volunteer their earnings first.
Yes.
So I was just going to say lower taxes, but actually, if everyone had their way, it'd be a very weird, unbalanced system. So if you're calling for an increase in taxes, you know what? Your earnings are the first on the chopping block.
Yes. Like, what do you mean, Rishi Sunak, for example?
Oh, that would be very nice.
Did you see that he's recently had to fork out £13,000 to pay for the heating for his new swimming pool?
£13,000 for the heating?
For the heating of a swimming pool. That's how in touch he is with the average society member, you know.
Yeah.
And that really is unfortunate.
Yeah, but for him, that's like a $5.
I know, exactly. Literally, his wife is a super millionaire.
Yeah. I mean, he would just be able to...
But you know the thing about taxes, and this is how I think the world's become more and more pathetic. So the relationship between taxpayers and the state is that we taxpayers, try and pay as little as we possibly can, and the state tries
But there's nothing wrong
to
with
get
it,
us to
is
pay.
there?
No, exactly, to get us to pay as much as it can.
Yeah.
And that's always been the dynamic. And now we get these pathetic little protesters hit the streets going, pay more tax,
yeah.
pay more tax. Well, in the old days, it used to be pay less tax, obviously.
And most of these people often turn out to be unemployed.
Yeah,
So it's usually an interesting. I mean, obviously, younger people tend to be more left-leaning, and then they start paying taxes, and they're like, actually, I'd like to keep more of my money.
Yes.
it's pathetic, though,
it
isn't
is,
Pay
it is.
more tax. No.
And I think we
But
should
you're a
actually
bad
get a
person if you
refund
don't
on the
wanna pay
I
NHS.
don't. Okay, so I'm a bad. Well, everybody knows I'm a bad person.
Everybody does know
Actually,
that.
if you don't use the NHS, you should get a reimbursement on your taxes for that.
Well, I think you should be able to
I
opt
keep
out.
claiming.
I think if you should be able to opt out of the NHS
Yeah.
if you want to, because
Yeah.
an awful lot of people have anyway, because
Yeah,
you can't get
exactly.
anything done. I mean, when was the last time you used
We've
it?
I mean, it took me
Involuntary
weeks to
opted out
get an
'cause we can't
appointment,
get in.
but I got my booster letter, like, immediately in the mail. So it just shows where their priorities
Oh, well,
are.
they are, yeah. I mean, I walked past a sign just today saying that the COVID vaccination tent down by Guy's Hospital has finally been closed. Well, they should have shut it
my
last
God.
year
Oh,
because
yeah.
nobody's going.
I never saw anyone in there.
No, there never was anyone in there. I mean, if you ever went
Virtue
past
signalling
it,
tent.
people were going in and coming out like
Virtue
literally
signalling.
2 seconds later.
It's like a church. You come up,
Come
pure
in, signal your virtue here.
COVID vaccine.
Are we down to number 2 now?
I think
No,
we're down
we're
to
about-
number 1.
Are we down? Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Sure, well, we
Drum
should have
roll,
some kind of
drum
roll,
for
yes.
We do.
I think everyone will love this
Rubbish
one.
drum.
That sounds like a rattlesnake. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Right.
People who glue themselves to public buildings should be left there.
Yes, that is that's a great one.
I cannot believe that our police actually spent time out of their day to unglue protesters.
Yeah. Well, yes, we're using that special solvent that
Exactly.
gets them off. But I particularly like to leave them on the M25, see how they get on there when
Yeah,
they glue
maybe
their
like a
hands.
special
Well, sorry,
bond.
lads, we're off. We'll leave you for the night.
I mean, I've
Yeah,
never
exactly.
understood why they unglue these people. Why waste their time?
Exactly, why
if
waste
they
their
do it in
time?
the road, you put cones around them and turn them into a roundabout, and you just go round them, and that way they don't get hurt. Also, the other thing to do, if they glue themselves to any other road, you just spray them with water repeatedly until they get so cold that they will have to eventually beg.
Yeah,
to
or
be
take their
arrested.
clothes off. They have to take their clothes off to get off.
Or you could cut them out, I suppose, couldn't you? Cut them out of their
Yeah.
clothes.
But some
Yeah.
people, and I think it was a bit cruel, said that what we should do is just yank their hands off the road so all their skin.
Skin
I
comes
don't
off.
think that's nice at all. But I do think it's
Really not nice.
it'd be a great idea to sort of like chop a huge bit of tarmac out.
Yeah.
So they had to go spend the
Just-
rest of their lives with this massive bit of road on their
their back.
hands everywhere they went.
Oh my God,
That'd
that'd be
sort them
brilliant.
out.
That'd be
Roadhouse Blues.
brilliant.
If you were to rule the world,
Yes.
what would your title be? Would you prefer Queen or would you prefer something more Republican?
Her awesomeness.
Her awesomeness.
Yeah.
That would work.
That's one of my favourite words.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And where would your sort of palace be? Where would you build it? Because you could have it anywhere in the world, couldn't you?
I know.
You wouldn't want it here.
No, probably,
Peckham?
definitely not. Peckham. That's
Peckham,
if I
right.
exiled myself. I'd exile myself in
Surely
Peckham.
it would be in some kind of
Living a life of luxury.
Literally.
Peckham.
Surely it would be some kind of sort of tropical island.
Tropical
wouldn't it?
island, yeah. I think maybe Guam. I'd buy Guam. Who owns it?
The
That's American,
I
that's
think
Yeah,
American.
I'd get
I
off.
think it's the
I mean,
US
Trump
military.
tried to buy. Was it Iceland or?
Yeah, I don't know. But I think that was just a joke, didn't he? Try
No,
and
he
buy
was
it?
seriously trying to buy it.
Oh, okay.
So I could buy Guam.
Well,
The Americans are very.
Guam is a
commercial
military
oriented.
base, I think. So
It's American, isn't it?
yeah,
It's
it's
Samoa.
American. It's a
More
US
protection for
military
me.
base.
The only bit of America
her
where they like
awesomeness.
rugby. They like rugby.
They've
there.
got bombers. They've got rugby. They've
Exactly.
got
No one will
like-
try and kill me.
Nobody would try and kill you.
All
You'd be-
those
you'd
hairy
be in-
feminists angry that
You'd
they
be
have
in
to
good
shave.
shape. Esther Krakue, if she ruled the world, I think if you were a woman, you'd have to watch out. And also if you were a man as well. Thank you very much indeed. Kevin O'Sullivan and I will be back very shortly. We'll tell you what we've drawn when we've drawn the news. This is talkTV.